saving millions of families $800,000 in premium, $8,000 a year in premium. We're cracking down on corporate landlords who keep rents down. The mortality rate for black moms who are nearly 3 times more likely to die. Donald Trump has said if he loses again in November, there will be, quote, bloodshed. The NAACP spirit endures.
What the hell?
Both the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots. Close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law.
Yeah, so here's President Biden. All right, this one I'm going to ask you about.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act.
What?
The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that.
So what did you think of this one?
He didn't blink.
Not at all, right?
So that suggests it's fake.
This one's actually real.
Yes, it's actually real.
Consistent with NIH document retention policies.
It is not. You know, there's a couple of things here. I spoke to Brad Wenstrup, Congressman Wenstrup, about this today, the head of that committee, and he says that this goes way beyond the whole issue with well, nothing can go beyond COVID origins, but the whole idea of suppressing government information and getting rid of it is really, really, really disturbing to the American public. And also, Jason, the issue that he was, Wenstrup thinks and it says it right in the emails that he was covering for Tony.
They were covering for Fauci, and those 2 people should be in jail. They need to prosecute them for the Federal Records Act violations, for trying to suppress that information, and to
How about
dispose
for creating
of it.
a bioweapon?
So
Alyssa?
important. Well, I gotta talk about. I've got to.
Vargas girls, like petty girls, Vargas girls, section girls, there weren't too many serious things. I think to keep guys loose.
And away we go.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 put on the brakes, put on the brakes. Welcome, welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom to Vermont, to another version of It's News to Us. And, oh, thanks, Philo. You're watching It's News to Us, where Newport's oldest TV news watches new. New brown Q, as the locals say. And let's see, here's our agitated senile of the week, and he's in the executive mansion, as they used to call the White House, until Teddy Roosevelt. Then it changed to the White House for some reason. I don't know why.
Maybe because everyone's been white.
Get off my lawn. Yeah. And Woodrow Wilson, man, he wouldn't even allow any colored people in. They fired them all, Democrats. Anyways, we're all inclusive here at the studio. We cater to men, women, and they all welcome. And all hail the cadaver in chief. Yep, that's old Joe. He's a moving mighty slow at the junction. These guys are back. Oh, they're back. They never go away. You'll see them with spray paint. You know, I'm surprised. We'll probably see another summer of love like we did in the last election year, Philo. You know it?
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah, oh, yeah. When our governor up here in Vermont said it was okay for the Black Lives Matter people to leave graffiti on railroad overpasses and stuff like that.
Oh, this is just payback for everything Whitey's done to them.
Yeah, and the climate crisis, man. What a joke. I wrote a letter to the editor. They're like, what are we, crazy? You people, you're going to force a renewable heat standard. That's what they're going to call this. Shift to fossil fuels in Vermont. You won't be able to burn any oil or something stupid in Vermont by 2030. Yeah, right. And it's crazy. We're only 600,000 people, and yet they turned around and Joe Bite Me and Camelback Harris, Camel Toe Harris, they just let in 12 million people. What's the carbon ass print on 12 million people, Philo?
unvaccinated, unmasked, and all
Oh,
that
sure.
good stuff.
Yeah, but well paid and well fed.
And well fared.
Well fared.
Yeah, very much welfare.
Yeah, well, brand new welfare bumps. Okay, and NEK's News Division. This is a book, RFK Jr.'s new book. Philo got it from the library. He's working his way through it right now. And it's insane. And people will tell you, okay, here's the thing. People will tell you, oh, there's no difference between the parties, you know. You get the Republicans and the Demopublicans, you know. It's like baloney, okay? Here's the difference right here with this bioweapon stuff, because the Republicans have been holding hearings since Fauci started lying about it, and they keep, but they don't control the Attorney General. The Attorney General's office, Merrick Judy Garland, is controlled by Joe Bite Me at the White House. And I watch these hearings, and the friggin' Democrats, Philo, they laugh about this stuff while they're interviewing people as if it were a joke. So we lost a few million Americans, elderly Americans. They couldn't go to funerals. You couldn't visit them in nursing homes. You know, that's the difference. There's a difference between the parties, and you betcha Bippy, it's a big one too. And I saw the head of one of the Republican committees or something from a section of Virginia this morning on the War Room. And they're already in the second cycle, Philo. The first cycle they went through, and they voted for the people who said they were gonna, hold people accountable, get men out of women's sports, all the stuff they promised they were gonna do, right? Well, it's been 2 years now, Philo, and about half of them didn't do what they said they were gonna do.
They usually don't, Steve.
Well, here's the thing. These people have been taking notes and kicking butt. So now they're getting rid of that crop of them. So they'll get rid of the 30% that won't do anything. And now they'll finally weed them out and put in some real people. And it's going to take a few election cycles for we the people to get rid of these deadbeats who won't do their jobs, like the city employees here and government employees that just, they're working from home. Oh, sure they are. But anyways, the news division at NEK-TV was nice enough to print this up. It's from CD Media. It's Creative Destruction Media. And it's from the Defender originally, which is Bobby Kennedy's website. And it says, U.S. government cartel paid CVS, Walgreens billions to reject ivermectin prescriptions and push the COVID shots. Let's see. It's by Dr. James Thorpe and attorney Maggie Thorpe. Published the article in America Out Loud News exposing the government's scheme to suppress ivermectin and push COVID-19 shots. Using some of the $200 billion in provider relief funds allocated to hospitals and pharmacies during the pandemic. Okay, now, what was the purpose of all this, I wonder, huh, Philo?
To sell more vaccines.
Well, yeah, obviously, there was money behind it.
And to control you and keep you where they can watch you.
Okay.
I tried to tell people this.
Remember, it was an election year, Philo?
Oh, of course, that too.
So that was the only way they could get rid of Trump. The economy was ripping. People were making money. They had the biggest jump of people off of food stamps and welfare in a generation. It was wild. People would rather go to work and make money, if you can make money enough to earn a living. So I'm almost glad it worked out this way, because now they're showing their true colors. They have tried everything to destroy Trump, and it's not working.
He's going to get reelected for one important reason. You know what that is?
What's that?
Nobody cares what he did with Stormy Daniels. What people care about is inflation and how it's hurting your pocketbook.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what he did with Stormy Daniels.
No. And here's the thing. I was watching that last week I was watching the rally he had in Brooklyn, right? It was your typical, the Bronx. It was your typical, Trump rally. A mix of what he did, what he's going to do, and a couple of times he jumped off the teleprompter. But he was on his feet for an hour and a half, Philo, giving this speech. But that wasn't it, okay? That didn't matter one whit to me, okay? What mattered to me was all these people from different news outlets as I was flipping through the channels, right? Who were interviewing people from the audience, specifically minorities and people of color, Philo.
Yeah.
They were picking out Orientals, Puerto Ricans, anybody but Whitey, and sometimes Whitey too. Usually the older whiteys who had admitted voting Democrat but aren't going to do it anymore.
Oh, you mean like De Niro?
Like who?
De Niro?
Oh, we'll get to him in a minute. Oh, geez, I that's part of the video I had. God, I had the video of people heckling him and calling him a mook. A mook. Get out of here, you friggin' mook. And I don't know what a mook is, Philo, but it didn't sound very flattering.
I'll tell you what, I'll look it up while we're talking, okay?
Yeah.
Really? Thank you for Google. I can look up all sorts of stuff now.
So anyways, I'm watching all of these people, and they said, oh, there's going to be a hate rally. And AOC tried to have like a counter demonstration town hall, Philo.
Oh, sure.
And like 40, 50 people showed up. That was it. 40, 50 people. And yeah, old De Niro got run out of town. Well, and he had to wear those stupid sunglasses like Travis Bickle and Taxi Driver too. Oh man. And then somebody hit the car alarm, and it was just friggin' hysterical. But they are going out of their way to friggin' get Trump at all costs, and it's not going to work. You know why? Because of the cell phones, because people are friggin' waking up. They can try and censor everything they want, but they can't censor all of it. They can't censor everything.
Okay, you ready for what a mook is?
Yeah, mook.
A stupid or incompetent person. That's what it says right there.
I'll bet you it's better in the original Italian.
A foolish, insignificant, or contemptible person.
Get out of here, you friggin' mook. You had a lot of this going on too.
What's the matter, you?
Oh, it was classic. So anyways, yeah, so I'm watching all of these people being interviewed, and and this is why I trust juries, all right? I had a jury decide my fate for a cultivation rap. They tried to nail me for growing 365 pounds of weed in Lunenburg, Mass. in 1991. And the jury acquitted me, and that's when I learned to put my faith in the American people, because, the cops were lying, It was one thing if they had put on a decent case and just said, yeah, that's our case, but no, they had to lie, had to try and lie to railroad me on a friggin' misdemeanor, like with Trump, which magically turned into a felony. And then I volunteered for jury duty in Carbon County, Pennsylvania, and the trial was for a guy who was a drug dealer, but he beat up the snitch. The snitch moved into town and stole his girlfriend and took his drugs, so he beat up the snitch. And they wanted to throw him in the friggin' pokey, and no, it didn't work out that way. Let's say the jury stayed a lot longer than they were expecting. You know what I mean? After they had made me jury foreman. But anyways, back to the COVID cartel that paid the drugstores to reject ivermectin. A cartel led by U.S. government bribed large pharmacy chains with billions in contracts to promote the vaccines and not fill scripts for ivermectin. Forgive me if I'm paraphrasing, but I'm doing it for time. Thorpe and Maggie Thorpe published in America Out Loud News exposing government, let's say, $200 billion from hospital and pharmacies. The article highlights the controversy surrounding ivermectin, which was baselessly maligned by the government, media, and meds, despite its demonstrated efficacy against COVID-19. The authors noted that Chris Cuomo's recent disclosure that he took it for long COVID. Let's see, we were given bad information about it, said Cuomo. The real question is why? He fell short of taking responsibility for his role in quashing the drug and shaming the refusers. His refusal on ivermectin sparked a new round of debate about the conspiracy. Let's see. The pharmacies were brazen in their refusal to fill the ivermectin. In their article, Thorpe's quoted Dr. Pierre Corey's book, The War on Ivermectin, the medicine that saved millions and could have ended the pandemic, describing the suppression of therapeutics occurring in the height of the pandemic. In the wake of the global horse dewormer propaganda campaign, hospitals started pulling it from their pharmacies, Corey wrote. Dr. Corey. Corey, a pulmonologist and founder of Frontline COVID Critical Care Alliance, described the healthcare systems threatening to fire employees if they prescribed the drug, and pharmacies becoming even more brazen in their refusal to fill the scripts. Some of these same pharmacies claim they're still prohibited from filling ivermectin as a treatment. According to Corey, the results of over 100 trials showed that ivermectin could have effectively treated the virus and saved countless lives. Paying pharmacies not to fill it was only one element. It included threats against doctors, ranging from shaming to loss of hospital access. Those are trusted profits over people, community access to testing for COVID, yada yada. Why in the world would any supplier want to promote or prescribe a cheap and readily available drug like ivermectin if doing so would throw a wrench into $1 billion cash cow contracts from the federal government, the Thorpes asked. The U.S. government targeted and paid off trusted sources purposefully to spoon-feed bad and even dangerous information to everyday Americans. These trusted sources chose profits over people. You remember Rolling Stone was at the forefront of that, Philo?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, they came out and said, oh yeah, they were seeing people in emergency rooms and stuff.
I remember all of those photos of people being let out on gurneys that were dead, and there was nobody on the gurneys.
Yeah.
There was nobody there.
The article contains links to government contracting sites and other sources for those who want to do their own research. The investigation is likely to be far darker than most could imagine. As more info comes to light about the efficacy of ivermectin and the financial incentives, the Thorpes called for accountability and further investigation. Well, good luck unless we get more. We can have all the investigations you want, but we will not get any prosecutions of people like Fauci and others who lied to Congress until and unless we get a Republican Party in the White House with a real attorney general. Oh my God, wouldn't that be great if Trump got elected and appointed RFK Jr. as AG?
Well, at least it would be interesting. I don't know how they'd get along.
That'd be great. Well, they have their own offices. Anyways, however, they caution against half-hearted efforts to take responsibility, citing the Times' recent article about vaccine injuries as an attempt to admit mistakes were made. Like Clinton said, mistakes were made, Philo.
No kidding. Well, do you remember when the Soviet Union was still around?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, follow me. You know this is true. When you left your town, you had to report to your police where you were going.
Yep.
And when you got to that town, you had to check in. And that's exactly what they wanted during COVID. They were trying to do the exact same thing. They were trying to control where you were going. If you left the state and you came back, you had to report and you had to tell and quarantine for 2 weeks.
Only they were doing it automatically by the phones, Philo.
What's that?
They were doing it automatically with the cell phones.
Oh. Well, they never caught me.
Well,
And I
yeah.
went to Littleton several times.
That's when that's how I found out how they were keeping track of them when I was a reporter for NEK-TV here with the governor.
Oh, the snitch line, you mean?
No, the snitch line was separate.
Oh, boy.
This was the phones. The state of Vermont Department of Health. I should put in a FOIA request and find out how much they paid the cell companies for it. But they contracted with the cell phone companies to find out the out-of-staters who were pinging. Their phones would ping when they came to Vermont when they crossed the border. Because I asked him, I'm there, well, where are you getting this information, you know? You got state police sitting there counting out-of-state plates in Brattleboro, you know? And they're all like, well, no, we have other ways. I'm all like, how? And then they finally admitted they were using cell phone data.
Geez, they never caught me, and I went to Littleton, New Hampshire several times.
Well, they caught you. You're on a list somewhere. I'll bet money on it.
Huh.
But they just weren't prosecuting anybody at the time because it was not illegal. And all the other stuff was not illegal either because it was a governor's request or whatever, a governor's orders. It wasn't a friggin' law.
Yeah, they never did pass a law. Everything was a mandate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember, I had copies of the damn snitch line. Todd printed them up for me.
75% were bogus and hilarious.
Yeah.
They were funny.
Yeah.
75% were just plain silly.
I somewhere I have to go through my emails, Philo, and get Todd to print them up again. Because people were right on the money, calling Governor Scott Nazis, and you know, I got a communist next door, and he's been using his ham radio to broadcast information to the Russians.
Speaking of communists,
Yeah, it was great, man.
Do you know who's running for lieutenant governor?
Who's what?
Who's running for lieutenant governor in Vermont?
God, I don't know who.
Oh gosh, John Rogers.
John Rogers. Oh, the old hemp farmer, Mason.
Yeah, and he was a Democrat, and finally he says, I don't like what my party's doing. I'm going to run against Zuckerberg.
Yeah, like all the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's switched parties and he's running against Zuckerman.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, I'll vote for him.
Yeah, as more information lies, they call for accountability and further investigation. No, we don't need any more investigation. We know who the culpable are. We need prosecutions. These are, they haven't violated just American or U.S. law. They've violated international law. It's against all kinds of friggin' treaties to make bioweapons.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. However, they warned that an investigation would it would uncover is likely to be far darker and run far deeper than most Americans want to imagine. Well, I'm all for it, man. Do it. We got to do it. And, you know, I don't care about Stormy Daniels or the rest of it. It don't matter. That crime is not a crime. The case is falling apart in Georgia. The other case, Did you hear about the case in Florida where they were thinking about using deadly force, Philo?
No.
The FBI had a medic. Oh my God. They had medics on standby. They were prepared FBI was prepared to have a shootout with the Secret Service at Mar-a-Lago.
Now that would be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Place your bets, folks.
You should, and you should see the Warham interview with a Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton this morning on Bannon's show. He said, look, the FBI's gone rogue, okay? They answer to nobody. The Department of Justice is doing whatever they want. They're out there, they're out in parking lots going after school board meetings and anti-abortion protesters and all kinds of stuff.
You mean like the CIA did under Bush and Cheney?
Oh, yeah.
They did whatever they wanted.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I see that puke, they have him on Fox. He's a legal expert. They'll bring him on every now and then. Oriental guy, John Yoo. Well, I don't like John Yoo because John Yoo was the author of the torture memos.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, he was the one that said, enhanced interrogation and techniques are fully legal. Okay, so how about some news that you won't see in the news?
Okay.
Speaking of which, they had this guy on the stand last week, and again, he was getting the cushy treatment by the Democrats, and they're all yucking it up and patting him on the back. His name was Dr. Morentz, Morents, and he was doing the gain of function, and then he was bragging in his emails. Excuse me. He was bragging in his emails about about hiding them from the what do you call them there? Damn it, hiding them from the FOIA requests because he had found out a way. His secretary told him how to do it through a separate email account, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Speaking of which, crazy is this pollen. I get up every morning and my car is covered with this stuff. It's like living in a sandblaster around here this time of year.
I know our car's covered with it also.
Yeah, it's going right in our lungs, man. I was ready to dig out the damn masks.
Now this is when you could really use a mask.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So what else do we go? Oh, did I ever tell you you see those the twisters? There was this one twister, a 90-year-old couple were in their bedroom, right, Philo? And it was in the center of the house.
Oh boy.
Tore the whole friggin' house out, and it tore one wall off the bedroom, and the roof and everything else, and left them alone. They survived it. 90 years old. They were in their bed.
Huh.
It was just incredible, yeah. And did I ever tell you about when I tried to outrun that twister in Nebraska?
No.
Oh man, I outran one. It was this time of year. I was headed out to my buddies, visit my buddies out in Wyoming. And so I'm driving through Nebraska, and the friggin', I get the tornado warning on the radio. It's like, oh, here we go.
Okay.
So
See you tomorrow.
I outran one, and there was the hail was pretty bad. I thought I was going to crack the windshield. I was in a rental car. You had unlimited mileage, you know. So I didn't think anything of it. Then I go up a few miles down the road. Here comes another one, Philo, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm all like, I don't think I can outrun this one because the wind had shifted a little and it was headed towards me. There was no way I could get around it. So just in the nick of time, man, I got underneath this overpass with a few other cars, and we parked our cars right under the overpass, and we scuttled up, and we're hanging on to the I-beams, right, onto the roadway, and my poor dog was looking at me like, "Oh, what are you, crazy? What have you got us into, you idiot?" And yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, did you know that Kerry and Obama had blocked the FBI from busting Iranian spies, Philo?
Yeah, Obama missed the boat on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, this was purposeful. I swear to God, man. He was our first Muslim president.
He failed to prosecute Bush and Cheney for war crimes, and that told me a lot about the guy right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't. There's got to be some immunity. But that should be the job of the International Criminal Court. But we only, I don't know. One day we'll find out if it worked or if it didn't. But let's see. We had an 8,000% increase of Chinamen since October crossing in the San Diego sector. We had 30,000 Chinamen come in.
Wow.
In that sector alone since October, Philo.
But now, are they giving us men or women?
It's like
They only have men over there.
Yeah.
They're running out of women.
I saw the crowds of them, man, and they weren't hiding their faces. I was looking for the women because you'd mentioned it, and I'd say there was about 1 out of every 20 was a female.
Yeah. They don't have any women to get rid of over there.
Yeah. Yeah, in 2017, the U.S. banned arms to the Azov Battalion, which were the Ukrainian Nazis, Philo.
Wow.
And Boris and Tony Blair had gone over there and squashed a peace treaty. And it's just nuts. Yeah, and between the modern monetary theory and quantitative easing from the Federal Reserve, we've got a massive inflation. And Jamie Dimon, even at Citibank or wherever he is, he's worried about we're going to reach the point of no return. And yet Biden is just doing this extend and pretend as if, as if the money were just you can just print it up forever.
Yep, that's what he thinks.
He's out of his friggin' mind. And what happened to the fight for 15? And that disappeared like the flu during the COVID thing, Philo.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, funny about that, how it just disappeared. It just disappeared, man. Oh, and that stupid, it's like everything Biden touches turns to crap, right, Philo?
Well, he's not really running the country anyway.
Yeah.
He doesn't really know what planet he's on.
Yeah. But I mean, he sure projects it, and so anyways, he came out and he was all for putting that temporary pier into Gaza, remember?
Yep.
We're going to build this temporary pier. Well, they built this temporary pier, all right, Philo. Let's see, where is it? It only cost us $300 million, right? And it busted and disconnected, and a big chunk of it went floating away.
Goodness.
Yeah, so they had to tow it to shore. And so I went on the interweb, and I was looking today at the damn in World War II when they had those movable piers. They called them Mulberry Harbors way back then in World War II. And Winston Churchill was worried that they weren't going to work, but they convinced him while he was in the bathtub of the Queen Mary, going across the Atlantic to visit with FDR.
Well, you know why we got involved in World War II, don't you?
Why we what?
Well, we got involved in World War II.
Oh, because of the Pope, right?
Yeah. Well, according to Smiling Mike, the Pope called FDR and he was afraid of Hitler.
Oh man.
You can't make this up, Steve. You can't.
No, and the Pope colluded with the Grand Mufti.
Yes, and then don't forget, the Pope smokes dope.
The Grand Mufti diver. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I was wondering. It's like they got Robert De Niro down there at the courthouse yesterday, and he didn't memorize his lines or anything, so he's trying to read off these cheat sheets like I'm doing here now, and all I could think of was like Alec Baldwin. Man, where was Alec Baldwin? Right? You remember? Did you see what happened to Baldwin a couple weeks ago, Philo?
No, I didn't.
This girl came up to him at some coffee shop, and she kept bugging him, saying like, say it, stop the genocide in Gaza, say it, so I can record it, stop the genocide in Gaza. And so Baldwin had just about had enough, man. So he acted like he was going to do it or something, and he just friggin' reached out and like snagged the camera or phone from this girl. It was hysterical.
Did you see what happened here about 6 months ago? This guy with a phone camera kept trying to record this guy and kept pushing in his face. The guy pulled out a gun and shot him.
Huh.
You're down in Florida, yeah, shot him right in the stomach.
Florida man.
Yep.
Yipper.
It's called F around and find out.
Yeah. It's like, damn it, man. They tell you to stop filming, you better stop filming. Yeah, Biden's lawmaking. He's willy-nilly. He's ripped up the Constitution. He's thrown it out the window. The student loans, the Supreme Court told him he doesn't have the authority to just wipe off student loans, never mind COVID's been over for 2 years, that he can't do it. He's just doing it anyways, trying to buy votes.
Oh, of course, that's what they all do.
Yeah. And he's given Obamacare to the DACAs. He's given government money to unemployed kids or whatever to register voters for his party.
Well, aren't they trying to lower the voting age to 16 in some places?
Oh, they're crazy. He's ruined Title IX because of the men and women's sports. He's done more executive orders and versus laws. He's impounded funds, violating the 1974 law. The Department of Justice rogues are hunting Trump with 91 charges in 4 jurisdictions. And the Trump documents went to Pelosi's January 6th committee, and they're all lost or destroyed. And he pulled the executive privilege, he revoked it from Trump, and he locked up stuff, according to the Biden audio with Robert Hur. He won't release that either, because they're saying, well, we're Trump, we're gonna bust him for having these records at his secure location at Mar-a-Lago, but we're not going to do it for Biden with his Corvette because, oh, he's an old man and he means well and his memory's not so good. It's like, what? What? Who cares if he's, And that's the thing. They released the transcripts, written transcripts, so-called, of the interview with Robert Hur, special counsel, about Biden having all these records, but they won't give up the recordings because Biden's so toasted, man. And it's just crazy. And we've got, $870 billion to $1 trillion in student debt out there, Philo. Oh, and Mayor Pete. They had Mayor Pete on one of these Sunday TV shows, Philo.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. And
gracious. We had one of those, didn't we?
Yeah. I won't mention any names.
No, we will not.
No. And so this girl, the interviewer or reporter, asked him, how many chargers do we have built? Are you going to build out all these electric chargers for all these electric vehicles? How many have built so far? He's here. Well, we've already put in $7.5 billion, and we're building them all the time. And she says, okay, $7.5 billion, but how many have you built? And she asked him like 4 times, right, Philo, before he gave an answer. And you know what? You know how many they've been built? How many have been built, Philo?
It's nationwide?
Yeah.
I couldn't even fathom a guess.
With that $7.5 billion, they've built 8 charging stations.
Newport's got one of them.
8. Yeah, I know.
It's right down by the post office.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
And when my stepdaughter and her husband want to charge their Tesla, do you know where they charge it? At home.
Yeah.
Overnight.
I swear I was behind them. There's only one in the area.
They got a red one.
Oh, okay. This one was black.
Nope, that's not there. Theirs is red.
Yeah.
Wait till you need a windshield, though.
They what?
Wait till you need a windshield.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
My goodness, what they had to go through all the way to Montreal, and then the thing wasn't there, Black Jack Shellac had stolen the windshield.
Dudley Do-Right. Dudley Do-Right will get you your Tesla parts.
Yeah, what was it? Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of war crimes, Philo, we spent 7 trillion in Iraq, 2 trillion in Afghanistan, and for what? For
Nothing.
what?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. And Millie, the TV general, I don't know where I don't know where this quote comes from, but he actually said it's on the web. I got to dig it up. Regarding the Ukraine, he said General Milley said that we don't need to win. What we need is a quagmire in the Ukraine. And these idiots, man, these idiots in the Ukraine, they've got Putin on friggin' hair trigger. That what they did was they gave these high explosive friggin' drones or guided missiles or whatever to the Ukrainians, to Zelensky, and he knocked out Putin's incoming missile radar, like we have the DEW line across Canada.
Yeah.
He knocked it out, so that blinded Putin. And what does that do to a nuclear-armed country, Philo?
It sends them into panic mode.
Exactly. It sends them into friggin' hair trigger mode, man. And so now they think they're pretty friggin' smart. So Putin's got a friggin' blind spot until they repair it. And Blinken and Sullivan, it's got to be those two because Biden's friggin' toasted.
Like a waffle.
Yeah. He's just burnt toast. They want to escalate the theft of the Russian bonds, and that's crazy, man. If you go to rickardswarroom.com, Rickards, RICKARDS, rickardswarroom.com. They're talking about since Biden, everything he does turns to crap. He said, well, we're going to put sanctions on Putin and we're going to get him out of the SWIFT system. As the SWIFT system is the system of international payments, right? Where most all the transactions are in dollars, and they can shut people off or shut countries off or turn them on, depending on what they want the countries to do, Philo. They shut off their money. Just like what's-his-face did, Trudeau did in Canada, right?
Yeah, he shut off, he froze all the bank accounts of those truckers, yeah.
Well, this SWIFT thing is the same thing pretty much, only on a global level. And so Biden shuts down Putin's friggin' money, and the GDP of Russia is gone up 5.4%, while ours has only gone up 1.2%. Putin's unemployment is 2.7, while ours is like 3.9. And here's the kicker: debt to GDP. Now, the only time that the debt to GDP ratio has exceeded 100% is during World War II, when we were just borrowing crazy money and making bonds to win the war against the Japs and the Krauts, right?
Yeah. That's
the only time it's ever exceeded it. Well, right now, the debt to GDP ratio of Russia is 17.2%. Do you know what ours is, Philo?
What's that?
122%.
Nice.
Thanks, Joe. We got to get this guy out of here before he bankrupts the whole friggin' country. He's out of his mind, man. And so if they steal these bonds from Putin, the treasury assets, there's $300 billion roughly in assets they want to steal from Putin and give to the Ukrainians. There's $100 billion that I think we control, and another $200 billion in Europe. And they could be two immediate results. Putin could retaliate against the West.
I know how he's going to do it too.
How's that?
He's going to raise the price of vodka.
Yeah. Stolichnaya goes up 100%. He could use Euroclear, which is holding the 200 billion, and he could then go out on pick any jurisdiction he wants on the globe and sue him, Philo. It's crazy to get his assets back. And not only could he get his assets back, he could get Euroclear to actually, maybe sue take our assets. This is nuts. Yeah, Mar-a-Lago, they had a trauma center 18 miles away. They were all ready for deadly force. They said, oh, that's standard operating procedure. They had a medic and a team ready. And, do you know how they do the Mexican elections, Philo?
By firing squad.
Yeah. By election day. By paper ballot, and you have to show your government ID.
Well, that means if you show up with a name like Fred Smith, they're not going to believe you're Mexican.
Yeah. Juan Gonzalez. Juan Valdez. Yeah, it's my burro behind me. It's loaded with the finest coffee beans we could ever get.
And imported Cuban cigars.
Yeah, but that's what they do. It's like you have a cedula, the government ID, and you go to whatever town you're domiciled in. You sign up you get the ballot, and you do the paper ballot, and that's it. Same day, boom, it's over. There's none of this counting and machines like we have. It's crazy, man. Well, we're the only stupid people. We're one of the few stupid countries. Oh yeah, a 400-meter dash was won by a tranny out in Washington State in the high school league. Philo.
Oh, must have been a girls' meet, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody says anything about it.
No, any swinging Dick and Harry can just walk in and say, I'm a girl now. Never mind that he's in the shower getting a boner while the girls are getting showered.
Yeah, that must make them feel real good. All I can tell you is, back in our day, Steve, if any of this happened, that person who did that sort of behavior would not have lasted a week in school.
It's funny you mentioned that, Philo, because I was watching a Partridge Family episode from 1974.
I remember them. Yeah.
It was the year I graduated, and they had nominated Lori Partridge for Homecoming Queen, and somebody else had nominated a guy for the Homecoming Queen, and so Lori gets up there. And she declined the title. She didn't want to do it because, she just said, look, it objectifies women and stuff like that. I'm not going to do it. I don't want the title. So she turned around and gave it to the guy.
Huh. Imagine that.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he wasn't pretending to be a woman or anything. It was just kind of a joke.
Right.
I mean, back then, a lot of us burned our caps and gowns. We didn't want anything to do with school.
Yep, I didn't keep mine. I think I don't know if I kept the tassel or not. I don't even remember. Steve, that was so long ago. You're asking me to remember stuff from the 15th century.
I thought I burned mine, Philo, but I was going through a bunch of stuff when my mother died, and I found my diplomas, my trade certificate and my high school diploma, and the cap and the gown. I couldn't believe it.
No, we had ours were rented. The only thing you got to keep was a tassel.
Huh. I'll be damned.
Yep.
Yeah, and the chairman, the CEO or whatever of Bowen just resigned. His name is Calhoun Philo. He's been chairman of the whatever since 2019. Okay. And his usual salary is like 22 million a year, Philo.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
How can a guy live on that?
Yeah, it's tough, but it's tight. You know how much he got to go away, walking away money?
$2.88.
Yeah, really. 33 million.
Wow.
33 million.
What's a poor millionaire to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this this thing where the what was it? Noor bin Laden. She's a reporter, and she's been reporting on this stupid World Health Organization global takeover in Europe, right, Philo?
Oh, wonderful.
And she says the WHO stands for We Hurt Others.
Yes, they do.
And they want to take over world intellectual property for pathogens, and they have a pathogen access system, and they have a little slogan. It's called All for Health and Health for All.
Oh, doesn't that sound just like in school?
Yeah.
When we were in grade school?
With that Mr. Big Head guy there, Tedros, heading up the organization. Guy's got a head like a friggin' pumpkin. It's nuts. Yeah. Oh, man. And New York City spent $4 billion for gimme grunts this year alone, Philo.
And I bet it was worth every penny of it, wasn't it?
Yep. Yipper. And there's taking in more and more every week.
New York can have them.
And this, who was it? I can't remember. Somebody was talking about EVs, and they called electric vehicles, EVs, blood vehicles, Philo.
Yep, they can be.
Yeah, because of the cobalt slavery in the Congo. And they showed clips of these people working in government cobalt mines, private cobalt mines, and clandestine cobalt mines, right, Philo?
Yep, that's right.
And not one of the three looked like it was any fun at all. Or did the miners have any rights or get a decent salary or enough to live on or send their kids to school or anything? Okay, so you think you people who've gotten all these electric vehicles, you think you're doing the world a favor? No.
Nope.
They're what?
Nope, not at all. No.
No, they're blood vehicles.
Yep.
They are blood vehicles, man. It's crazy. Yeah, 25% of the new jobs are government jobs. Yipper.
Yes, I shut down America, and I put 5 billion people out of work, but now I've created 1 million new jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going around bragging about it. It's like, I've created the most jobs in history. And all I can think of every time Biden says that, he doesn't say created, he says crated.
Yeah.
Like the company you worked for or companies I worked for. They created jobs. Oh, yeah, they created them all right. They
Yep.
put them in crates and sent them overseas.
Yeah, or like somebody should be peached.
Eh.
That was a guy named Alan Lockwood, who's dead now. By the way, Steve, you got, last but not least, one more good story.
He got peached. Yeah, he sure did. Oh, my God. One more story. Oh, for crying out loud. I don't know where the hell that thing came from. Oh, my back pocket. That's why. What do we got from the Epic Times this week? Oh, I don't know. Biden builds on Trump policies to get tougher on China. Oh, sure. Yeah, after all this stuff. RFK changes stance on abortion, did an about face. And those guys, the Jordanians that snuck into this country, Biden won't say what the hell was going on. They got onto that military base, Quantico, down in Virginia. And I got this bag yesterday, Philo, at that food place I was telling you about, right?
Yep.
Oh, it's green, so you can't see it. It says, thank you. It's reusable, recyclable, and biodegradable, right? And I'm thinking, wow, maybe this is one of them cornstarch bags or whatever. You know what it says? How it's recyclable? It says, return it to a participating store for recycling. Oh, well. Why didn't I think of that?
Yep.
Once again, you wasted a perfect good hour of your life watching this stupid show, so hopefully We'll see you again next week. Inshallah, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees. And the men only moss, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you, head east towards worship the meteorite Mecca and go, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar.
And of course, everyone, a happy Deus Magnus Est to everyone.
Truly inspires you. Saving millions of families, $800,000 in premium, $8,000 a year in premium. We're cracking down on corporate landlords who keep rents down. The mortality rate for black moms, who are nearly 3 times more likely to die. Donald Trump has said if he loses again in November, there will be, quote, bloodshed. The NAACP spirit endures.
What the hell?
Paul and the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
Close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law.
Yeah, so here's President Biden. All right, this one I'm going to ask you about.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act.
What?
The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that.
So what did you think of this one?
He didn't blink.
Not at all, right?
So that suggests it's fake.
This one's actually real.
Yes, it's actually real.
Consistent with NIH document retention policies.
It is not.
You know, there's a couple of things here. I spoke to Brad Wenstrup, Congressman Wenstrup, about this today, the head of that committee, and he says that this goes way beyond the whole issue with, well, nothing can go beyond COVID origins, but the whole idea of suppressing government information and getting rid of it is really, really, really disturbing to the American public. And also, Jason, the issue that he was, Wenstrup thinks he and it says it right in the emails that he was covering for Tony.
They were covering for Fauci, and those 2 people should be in jail. They need to prosecute them for the Federal Records Act violations, for trying to suppress that information and to dispose
for creating
of it.
a bioweapon?
So
Alyssa?
important. Well, I gotta talk.
Vargas girls, like petty girls, Vargas girls, section girls, there weren't too many serious things. I think to keep guys loose.